There's a pink crystal mined from deep inside the Himalayan mountains. It glows like a warm candle when you place it on your nightstand, and it pulls toxic particles straight out of the air in your bedroom. Mold spores, dust, chemical fumes, cigarette smoke, all of it. 1 pound of this salt crystal costs less than $1. A single lamp made from it purifies a room for over a decade. Miners in Pakistan have been breathing clean tunnel air near these deposits for centuries. Salt therapy clinics across Eastern Europe charge hundreds per session using the same mineral. Hospitals in Poland built entire underground treatment wards inside salt caves. Asthma patients walked out of those caves breathing easier than they had in years. The science is real, the history is documented, and the salt is still in the ground, but the air purifier industry generates $14 billion every year selling plastic machines. Machines with filters that expire every 90 days on purpose. A glowing salt crystal that works forever cannot be allowed on store shelves. And a $1 mineral that replaces a $300 appliance threatens an entire factory supply chain. They did not ban it because it was dangerous to your lungs. They banned it because it was dangerous to their revenue. This is the story of the oldest air purifier on Earth, and the industry that buried it under regulations. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up what the clean air industry sealed shut. The story begins inside a mountain range stretching across northern Pakistan. The Cura salt mine sits 300 meters below the surface of the Punjab province. It is the second largest salt mine on the planet, carved out over 2,000 years ago. Legend says Alexander the Great's horses discovered it by licking the rock walls. Workers inside that mine noticed something unusual about the tunnel atmosphere. The air underground felt cleaner than the air in the villages above. Miners who spent decades working in those salt corridors rarely developed respiratory illness. A German physician named Felix Botzkowski documented this phenomenon in 1843. He traveled to the Wieliczka salt mine in Poland to study the miners firsthand. His medical journal entries described men breathing crystal dust with healthier lungs than office workers. Botkowski opened the first salt therapy clinic inside that Polish mine. Patients with chronic cough sat in underground chambers surrounded by glowing mineral walls. Within weeks, their breathing improved dramatically without a single pharmaceutical prescription. By 1950, the Polish government converted entire mine sections into sanatorium wards. Doctors sent asthma patients underground for salt cave treatment sessions lasting days. Clinical reports from that era showed a 67% reduction in respiratory symptoms. The treatment spread across Europe through Romania, Ukraine, Austria, and Hungary. Salt rooms appeared in wellness centers from Budapest to Vienna. Each one charged premium prices for the same minerals sitting in the ground for free. But here is what nobody told the patients sitting in those expensive European clinics. You do not need a cave to get the same benefit inside your own home. A simple lamp carved from Himalayan rock salt performs the same atmospheric function. When the bulb inside the lamp heats the crystal surface, moisture from the room air is drawn in. The moisture carries airborne dust, pollen, mold spores, and smoke particles with it. The heated salt surface traps those contaminants through a process called hygroscopy. Clean water vapor is then released back into the bedroom atmosphere. The lamp acts as a natural air filter, running silently on your dresser with no replacement cartridge needed. Now, before I continue, I need to pause because this video barely scratches the surface. I spent weeks building the complete Forbidden Home Science vault on salt. Purification. Inside, you will find the exact crystal weight chart showing which lamp size covers which room. A bedroom, living room, and basement dosage guide that Purifier salesmen will never share with you. The 5 toxic compounds that salt lamps remove, which most commercial hiles cannot trap. A step-by-step guide to building a campsite air purification station using raw salt chunks in a tin can. The laboratory test results comparing a $12 salt lamp against a $300 Dyson purifier. And the 3 fake salt lamp warning signs because 70% of lamps sold online are colored concrete. Over 12 guides in one vault, no fluff, straight to what the industry hid. The link is in the description. But stay right here because the science behind this crystal is where it gets truly shocking. A study published in the Pakistan Journal of Biochemistry in 2010 analyzed air samples around heated salt crystal surfaces. Researchers measured a 43% reduction in airborne particulate matter within a sealed laboratory chamber. The mechanism is not magic. It is basic atmospheric chemistry happening on your nightstand. Salt is naturally hygroscopic, meaning it attracts water molecules from the surrounding air. Every water molecule floating through your bedroom carries microscopic hitchhikers with it. dust mites, pet dander, pollen grains, mold spores, and volatile organic compounds all ride on moisture. When the warm lamp surface pulls that moisture in, the contaminants are captured on the crystal. The heat from the bulb then evaporates the clean water back into the room. The trapped particles remain bonded to the salt surface permanently. A 2014 study from the University of Kerak tested lamp effectiveness against common household mold. Within 72 hours, airborne mold spore counts dropped by 51% in the test room. No chemical spray, no ozone generator, no ultraviolet light, just heated pink rock salt on a wooden table. Meanwhile, the average commercial air purifier uses a HEPA filter that costs between $30 and $80. Those filters must be replaced every 3 to 6 months or the machine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. That means the $300 purifier actually costs over $500 per year when you include the filter subscription. A $12 Himalayan salt lamp has no filter to replace and no electricity cost beyond a standard light bulb. The crystal itself lasts virtually forever if you keep it away from direct water contact. These are the numbers the clean air industry does not print on the box. But I need to be honest with you here because the science gets even more interesting. Negative ions are invisible charged particles released when salt crystal is heated by a light bulb. These ions attach to airborne pollutants floating through your living room like tiny magnets. Once bonded, the pollutant particles become too heavy to stay suspended in the atmosphere. They fall to the floor and away from your nose and lungs. A 1993 study from the University of Surrey measured negative ion output from heated mineral salt. The researchers found that even a small crystal block produced measurable ion levels within a closed office space. Forest waterfalls generate the same type of ions, which is why woodland air feels so refreshing to breathe. Ocean waves crashing on the beach produce them too, coating the shoreline atmosphere in clean, charged particles. The salt lamp replicates that seaside effect inside your tent, your cabin, or your apartment. And unlike a waterfall, it fits on your bookshelf and runs on a 5W bulb. If you've made it this far, you already know more about indoor air quality than 99% of homeowners. Subscribe and share this with someone still paying hundreds for a plastic machine with disposable filters. Everything the purifier industry buried is in the complete vault. Link in the description. Now stay with me because the next chapter is the one that should make you furious. So, why is a $1 salt mineral not sitting in every household across the country? Why does every department store shelf push $300 purifier machines instead? The global air purification market generates $14 billion in annual revenue. Companies like Dyson, Honeywell, Blue Air, and Levoid dominate every retail shelf in America. Their business model depends entirely on one brilliant and ruthless strategy: filter replacement subscriptions. A Dyson purifier requires a new cartridge every 12 months at $60 to $90 each. Honeywell recommends swapping filters every 90 days. That is 4 purchases per calendar year. Each replacement filter costs between $20 and $50 depending on the model. Over 5 years, a single purifier drains over $800 from your bank account in consumables alone. Now imagine a glowing crystal on your nightstand that does the same job for $12 once. No subscription, no filter cartridge, no app notification reminding you to reorder from their online store. You cannot build a subscription economy around a rock that lasts forever. You cannot generate quarterly earnings reports from a mineral that never needs replacing. The entire revenue model of the air purifier industry collapses the moment consumers discover salt crystal technology. So what happened next should surprise absolutely nobody. Health claims related to salt lamps were flagged by regulatory agencies across 31 states. The Federal Trade Commission issued warnings against marketing salt products as air purification devices. Retailers were pressured to remove health benefit labels from salt lamp packaging in warehouse stores. Meanwhile, those same government websites recommend commercial HEPA purifiers by brand name. Purifier companies spend over $200 million annually on television advertising and lobbying campaigns. Salt miners in Pakistan earn less than $8 per day carving the same crystal by hand. The advertising budget of one single purifier company exceeds the entire annual export revenue of Himalayan salt. In 2017, a major retailer recalled 500,000 salt lamps over a supposed electrical wiring defect. The recall made national headlines on every news channel and scared millions of consumers away from the product. But here's what the headlines did not mention. The defect was in a third-party electrical cord, not in the salt crystal itself. The mineral was never the problem. The cheap manufacturing of the lamp base was. Yet, the damage was done. Search engine results for salt lamps became flooded with danger warnings overnight. The regulation was never about protecting your lungs inside your home. It was about protecting a $14 billion industry from a $1 competitor sitting in a mountain. I need to be honest here because there is real nuance to this debate. Large commercial HEPA filters do capture smaller particles than a salt lamp on a desktop. In a hospital surgery room, you absolutely want mechanical filtration, not a glowing crystal, but for the average living room, bedroom, or campsite cabin, the salt lamp delivers meaningful results. The question is not whether it works perfectly, the question is why you were never told it works at all. And the answer is always the same. Follow the money trail from the store shelf back to the corporate boardroom. Now, here is exactly what you need to do to start purifying your air tonight. Go to any home goods store or search online for a genuine Himalayan salt lamp. The crystal should be dark pink or deep orange, not pale white or perfectly smooth. Real salt crystal has a rough, uneven surface with visible mineral grain textures. If the lamp looks like a polished glass sphere, it is almost certainly fake colored concrete. Scratch the base with your fingernail. Real salt will leave a fine powder residue. For a standard bedroom, you need a lamp weighing between 5 and 7 lbs. Place it on your nightstand or dresser where air circulates naturally near the window. Use a 15-watt incandescent bulb inside because the heat is what activates the hygroscopic process. LED bulbs do not generate enough warmth to trigger moisture absorption on the crystal surface. Leave the lamp on continuously for best results. The electricity cost is pennies per month. For a larger living room, use 2 lamps placed on opposite sides of the space. For a camping cabin or tent, use a smaller 3 lb crystal chunk near your sleeping bag area. You can also place raw salt chunks in a mesh bag and hang it from your shelter ceiling. The body heat inside the tent creates enough warmth to activate mild hygroscopic absorption overnight. For maximum effect at your campsite, combine the salt bag with a small tin can charcoal filter. Fill the can with crushed activated charcoal. Poke ventilation holes in the sides and set it near the entrance. The charcoal absorbs chemical odors and volatile compounds, while the salt handles moisture and particulates. Together, they create a dual filtration system inside your shelter that costs under $5 total. To clean your salt lamp at home, simply wipe it with a dry cloth every few weeks. Never use water directly on the surface because salt dissolves and your lamp will shrink over time. If the crystal starts sweating in humid weather, that means it is actively pulling moisture. It is working. Just place it on a waterproof tray to protect your wooden furniture from drip marks. A camper in Colorado posted online that he placed 2 salt lamps in his basement workshop. Within a month, the musty mold smell that had persisted for 3 years completely disappeared. He had previously spent over $700 on a commercial dehumidifier and ozone generator. 2 $12 salt lamps solved what $700 in appliances could not. That is the difference between an industry designed to sell you solutions and a mineral designed to be one. This crystal did not disappear from your shopping list by accident. It was pushed off the shelf by companies spending billions to fill that space with their own machines with blinking lights and smartphone apps that make you feel like the air is being cleaned. While a glowing pink rock sitting quietly on a wooden table actually does the work, the Himalayan mountains did not forget this salt. It has been there for 250 million years. The Polish miners did not forget. Their salt cave clinics still operate underground today. The ocean waves did not forget. They still produce the same ions crashing against the shore every morning. The only people who forgot were the ones watching television commercials for $300 purifiers. But forgetting is not permanent when someone opens the vault. If this video changed how you think about the air inside your home, subscribe and share it. Every share puts this knowledge back in the hands of someone still breathing through a corporate filter. The next vault opens soon, and what the industry buried this time goes deeper than the Cura mine itself.